Hi everyone, so as you know, throughout the year I'll be doing book recommendations, book reviews, and if you've been watching my reviews since the 1st of January, then you'll know that I've reviewed, I think I'm on about book number 7 or book number 8, but the purpose really is just to test myself in one way, because I've just been purchasing books, reading the books, and then seeing what knowledge I can take from them, and then also just giving you the book reviews so that there may be books on the list that I've reviewed that you're interested in. And also thank you to everyone that is giving me book suggestions. I've got quite a lot of books in my Amazon basket. There's probably about 20 books in there, and I'm just purchasing them a few at a time. So today's book is called 80/20 Your Life by Richard Koch. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. And it says he's the best-selling author of the 80/20 principle. So it looks like this book is a follow-up to that book. And it says the 80/20 principle is the cornerstone of results-based living. And it just really, it's what it says. It's another one of these books that has a title, and then sometimes that works, as in the content matches the title. Sometimes it doesn't work. In this case, I think it sort of works. So I'm going to talk to you about my thoughts about this book. I've made loads of notes. I'm not going to try and go through all of these because there's just too many things on here. So it talks about the top 20% of people or situations create 80% of the results. So that's the whole 80/20 principle. 20% of the sales staff will make 80% of the dollar value of sales. The 80/20 principle applies not only to groups of people and their behaviour, but to virtually every aspect of your life. Anyone can improve their life by using the 80/20 principle. So it's all about getting more with less. So it's saying a small minority of causes leads to a large majority of results. It talks about we get more reward with less energy if we adopt rewarding habits. If we think about what we can achieve with our time, we can relax or even be lazy, as there is no rush. Having time to think may be a good precondition for achieving a great deal. Anyway, it talks about creating an 80/20 happiness plan, where you set aside a regular time and day to spend an hour a week on your happiness plan. Make your 80/20 destination specific, select the 80/20 route, write down 1, 2 or 3 80/20 happiness actions, and set a date to start the action. So there's things like that in there. So the 80/20 happiness plan, there's loads of quotes in there. Focus on your 80/20 destination, where you want to be. That's in there a lot. It is a little bit repetitive. It's interesting. I did learn from it, but it's repetitive because I think sometimes with some of these books where they're focused on one thing, so the one that I've just done recently, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. So it's a bold title, but then it just has one theme to it. And this is similar to the 80/20 principle. It's a principle or a method of behaving. In fact, it's the 80/20 Your Life. But then it kind of, after they've said it once and they've given you examples, there's not much more places you can go with it. I did find it interesting though, and I did read the whole book, but I just feel that it's there wasn't enough material. And that's just my opinion. As I've said, some of these books, it's not like a massive book if you look, but sometimes it's better to just go in there, focus on what you're talking about, give the examples, and then sort of that's all you need to do. These books don't have to like continuously repeat the information, because I think sometimes then it doesn't have as much impact, because you've said, the whole, like with the 80/20s all the way through it. So the 80/20 happiness plan, 80/20 your destination, find the 80/20 route. It talks about it a lot. The 80/20 principle, it talks about that a lot. And I just think you get the point. With the examples, you get the point. And I know it's the 80/20 book, that's what it's about. But sometimes actually, if you keep repeating the same thing, it loses its power, because it's kind of like, okay, well, I've heard that now, so tell me like a bit more. So it talks about you can make a great mental leap by disassociating effort from reward. Focus on the outcomes you want and find the easiest way to get to them. Focus on your 80-20 destination. So yeah, it says that again in another chapter. What do you really want in life? Find your 80-20 route, take 80-20 action. So switch between an ordinary life and life as it could be. Have an idea or a fantasy or a passion and act on it. Step out of a life of duty into a life created by your own imagination. You know, there's a lot of things in there which you've heard probably, you know, elsewhere, like when you want something, the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. So that's manifestation and law of attraction stuff. And then it talks about there's only one happiness in life, to love and be loved. We make sense of life through relationships. Modern life is making it more difficult to find nurture. So it gives you ideas. So create more with less in your work life. Gain more money and enjoyment with less time. Gain more with less by saving. So sooner or later you will have the income to pay for the lifestyle you want. Focus on less is more, what is important for your happiness. So in every chapter it talks about the 80-20 destination, the 80-20 route, 80-20 action. It uses examples. It gives you stories. There's things in there about, does money make you happy? Save 10% of your income. It talks about Pareto's law, compound interest. Yeah, that's all I've put in notes. I gave it 7.5 out of 10, and the reason for that is because, you know, it was a good book. It's not memorable, you know. It's not going to be one of those books. There's a book that I'm going to be reviewing at some point. I'm reading it at the moment, which I can't put down. Mind-blowing. And the title doesn't even grab you because the title is actually called Money. That is the title. And you think, oh God, here we go again. What does that tell you? That is one of the best books I've ever read, and it's got the highest score that I've given so far. Now with that book, I was even thinking yesterday, I'm probably going to have to do at least an hour talking about it. I'm not going to do that really, but that is the type of book where you think, yeah, you know, this is teaching me things. The things that I've learnt in that book are going to have helped me already. Whereas this is good, but once I've put it down, I'm not going to think, oh, I can implement this, or this is something I can't stop thinking about, this is mind-blowing. And I don't know if it's just me, and I know that I'm doing some reviews where people are probably thinking, oh, she's a bit fussy and that sort of thing. But when you're reading lots of books, then I think you can compare then of like what is a standout fantastic book or what is just like, okay. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad book. I do think it's interesting, the 80-20 your life. You know, and then obviously he's written 80-20 principle. Maybe that's got something to do with it, the fact that he's already written about the 80-20 principle. So he's already made a book about the same thing, and then he's created another book which is similar. That could be it, you know, that maybe you shouldn't do two books that are near enough the same title and near enough similar things you're talking about, because you might not have enough content. But overall, 7.5 out of 10. It's an okay book. It is something, if you want a little bit of motivation, you might buy it and you might get a few ideas from it. But is it the best book I've ever read on this type of thing? Probably not. Something like Atomic Habits, which I will be reviewing, and other books. I think Compound Effect is one of my favourite books. I've already spoken about that before. That's a fantastic book. So I think there's similar out there. So that's what I would say. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read the book? Are you interested in the book? Would you put it on your book list? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share this video, to subscribe, and to let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye.